It's always the last bend. I don't care what these say. There's something about the last bend of a fossil hunting trip that is insane. We just found, well, I guess you guys are gonna have to wait and see.
Look at that.
Okay, so what you guys are about to witness is not typical of one of my fossil hunting trips. So I've been exploring formations that represent embayments, which are just deep water environments. That's our first shark tooth of this trip. And these deep water environments have huge Megalodon teeth.
I'm not even in like 6 feet of water, and that thing is insane. That's a big tooth. Well, wow. That's a pretty good start to this trip. Oh my gosh. The very first Megalodon tooth. 10 minutes of diving maybe? 10 minutes of diving maybe, and look at that. Holy crap.
I'm not gonna ruin this video with a bunch of cheesy voiceovers, but I do want to give a little bit of context to what's going on. So Florida, where I typically explore for Megalodon teeth and other Ice Age fossils, is an area that was shallow during the Miocene when Megalodon was around. It was a nursery, so big female Megalodons would come in, have their babies. Those babies would have a variety of different foods to eat, and they wouldn't have to worry about other deep water predators. They would be able to chill out, grow big enough, and then go out into the open ocean. But this is an area that was deep water. This is where Megalodons hunted whales, and it doesn't have as many shark teeth as you would find, say, in Florida. There's not very many tiny species, but you can find really cool whale fossils, and when you find Megalodon teeth, they tend to be big. So the biggest one we found on this trip was way bigger than the big one you just saw, so I hope all of you stick around with me as we explore this ancient ocean bottom.
Another big beater. Cool teeth though.
Alright, we are taking a break from the river to show you these weird teeth I've been finding. These are auriculatus shark teeth. They're way older than the Megalodon teeth. These are about 30 to 40 million years old, and they're the ancestor, the great ancestor to the Megalodon shark. So these come from a layer that's much older. Unfortunately, these guys have been tossed and tumbled for eons, and they're not as nice as the Megalodon shark teeth we're finding from the actual formation, but they're still really cool reminders of the ancient sharks that used to be out in areas like this. Now I've got to get back underwater and find more shark teeth. So I just finished swapping in another tank, and I was just walking on the riverbank and I saw this. That is a gar skull. So there are actual river monsters in there. I'm gonna get back underwater. That really big Meg is in here somewhere. And once we finish this second tank, I'll show you that crazy tooth again. Okay, this is worth taking a break from the river. We have been finding, I don't know if you've noticed, a lot of whale fossils today, and we've been finding a few of these. These are ear bones to the whales that we've been finding. They're pretty large, if you can't tell, and I love finding these just because they're a really unique fossil. But I need to put it back if I want to keep on finding fossils. This spot was kind of worth talking about to me just because I have never really found areas like this where you find this much whale material. So cool thing about the Miocene, which is like 5 to 14 million years ago, at least for the time of Megalodon, is that there were a lot more whale species around. They were typically smaller than the whale species that are around today, present day. Oh, that's a nice big auriculatus shark tooth. But there were lots of them. There were lots of these smaller whale species, and that formed the main prey item for Megalodon. And these open embayments that we're exploring just have so much material from these whales. Like, a lot of the gravel's broken bone from whales, and then the vertebrae were pretty much, in general, they were intact pretty much. And over the next few minutes, I form a whole pile. Oh, it's a cool Megalodon tooth, posterior from the back of the jaw. Anyway, I form a whole pile of these really cool whale vertebrae. Well, I just stashed 2 giant piles of whale vertebrae underwater to pick back up at the end of this trip. But my tank is officially dry, and we had a very good start to the trip. These are some of the tinier Megalodon teeth we managed to find. That one's pretty cool shape, and this one's a little posterior, but the best one by far, I mean, look at all these teeth, is right in here. Found it in the first 10 minutes of today's hunt. Thing is huge. That's about as big as Megalodon teeth get. It's probably 5.5, 5.6 inches. Massive, 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 massive shark tooth. Hopefully we get more of those on this trip, but I gotta figure out how to get out of here right now, and I need some food. We have refueled, we are away from spot number 1, and we are heading to secret spot number 2 down this creepy little, well, it's not creepy actually, it's kind of cool, but we should be there in no time. All right, scuba is ready. Time to hike it real quick to the river. Okay, here we are. Oh, jeez. Dang. Going down this with a tank is not fun, but this should be quick. I'm not wearing a wetsuit, so if it's not quick, I'm gonna get very cold. So let's see what we can't find. That's an absolute heartbreaker. Really cool lower, great serrations, just missing that chunk. Okay, this part needs an explanation. The first thing you're going to see me pick up right now is an incredibly well-preserved whale vertebrae. It was really poor conditions in this spot, not a lot of visibility, but as I'm going around and looking at the bottom, trying to see things through the silt, right over here, wait for it, you're going to see something pretty cool in just a second. I don't actually know how long it took me to find this. This is my first time going through it, but right there. So that is the first of a lot of really, really massive whale vertebrae. So I'm fanning them up right now, and I think there's 2 underneath the silt that's coming up right here. And yeah, here we go. That is one of the first big ones from this animal. So pay attention. You're going to see a lot more of these giant vertebrae from this single animal. They're all associated in just a second. Alright, let's see if we can't spot them. There's one. There's another vertebrae. There's a second vertebrae right there. It's really hard to see these in the video. It's so silty. There's a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. So a lot of cool vertebrae from this spot, and they're huge. This was definitely a big baleen whale that died here. Oh, there's another one. I'm telling you, it's crazy. And here they all are stacked together. Pretty cool assemblage of ancient marine whale vertebrae. Of course, whales are marine, but you know, that's beside the point. Look at them. They're cool. They're big. They're fossils. I love them. We also had to leave giant vertebrae in there, but we should be able to save those vertebrae. Not now though, I am exhausted. It's gonna take time to get them out. I've got very little storage, if you can tell back here, because I'm sleeping in the car. But I'll get those out because you do not find associated vertebrae that are that big that often. So it's definitely worth saving that piece of history. Now, this is one of the things that sucks about doing this solo, is getting your kayak off the car, getting your gear ready, and getting to the actual river. Good morning, New River. Let's find some fossils. There are a lot of these portages, and if you can just look downstream, this is going to take us a decent amount of time. This is going to be a very long day, but hopefully it pays off. Keep going. Oh, that's a big spider. This is why I go to the gym. Here we go. And that's why I should become more flexible. This is not going to be terribly easy. Oh, I got it. Use my thunder fingers. It's like a boss. It really is remarkably gorgeous out here. Even if every bend I gotta get through something like that, I appreciate you all being patient and going on this journey with me, because this is part of the adventure. This is part of the cool stuff that we get to experience. And I am more than ready to find some teeth. So we haven't really been finding much yet, just that one killer great white shark tooth. We've already covered a lot of ground. Things like this, when you're scouting, they can really suck. You don't know what you're gonna find, you don't know what you're gonna run into. I have been very, very mean to my knees this trip. They are bloody and raw, but hopefully I can get on some more cool sights to wrap up this trip, because a week camping in your car, it really runs you down. Okay, this is really cool. So I just pulled this tooth up. This is an extinct white shark tooth. This shark evolved into this shark, and this shark happens to be a great white. So these come from the same deposits that hold the Megalodon teeth, and this comes from a more recent shell deposit. And you can tell it's still got sharp serrations. But when you look at these two teeth, they're practically identical. The only thing that happened when this shark evolved into this shark is slowly over time it evolved serrations. And you can see that, wow, they are wicked. Now I'm gonna get back in there and find some more stuff. Alright, this is the very final bend of a very long trip at this point. And I had float dived for maybe, I don't know, 3 miles close to that at this point, just scouting. And I saw an insane amount of formation. I knew I was going to find some good stuff. That's the first big bone. It's a whale vertebrae. It's huge. I am going to let you guys just see what I managed to find here. Holy, that's a big tooth. I am rightly freaking out about this tooth. It might be 6 inches. I don't know, but I gotta get back underwater. I don't have a lot of day left. This is coming right at the end. Look at the root. The thing is fat. Holy crap. We've got 3 more teeth. This is insane. All right, we've wrapped up this spot and we got 3 more Megalodon teeth. Almost dropped that one. I gotta be careful. This thing has survived 5 million plus years. Might not survive me. Nah, I'll take care of this. All right, there's the mothership. I'm hoping it's close to 6 or at 6. I've got to measure it when I get home. But just for comparison's sake, there's that great white shark tooth we found earlier. And that is not a tiny great white. That is a full-grown adult compared to a full-grown Megalodon. The size difference between these 2 sharks is just hard to believe. But I need to wrap up and get out of here, or else I'm gonna get stuck in the dark. And I do not want that to happen. It's happened before. It is not fun. I'm gonna take these teeth home. We're gonna clean them, and you'll be surprised at how beautiful these ancient shark teeth are. Before we go home, there is one last thing I have to do. I've already started the process. So this has been my beautiful hotel for the past week. I've put a tarp over my bed. I've got to get a bunch of these cardboard boxes, and we are gonna recover all of those whale vertebrae from earlier. We did find a lot, so I'm interested to see how this goes. The logistics of these kind of trips can be really interesting. So the very first couple days while I was camping in my vehicle, I found a ton of these whale vertebrae, and more than I could tote around with me. They're also in pretty inconvenient places. Most of the time, the areas that I'm finding that have these fossils are not close to any kind of roads. That sucker is huge. Yeah, that sucker is huge. And because of that, because they're pretty remote, it takes a long time to collect the vertebrae, teeth, bones, whatever, especially if they're big and heavy, and get them out. Most of the time I don't show this process of me just going and getting everything up, but I thought it was kind of cool. It goes so quick in there. And since I edit these videos, I get to choose what I share with you. So if you don't like this, you're gonna have to suffer. That's crazy. That's gotta be one of the nicest ones. You rarely ever get that process. Starting to get tired. Man, these
these suckers are big. I think there's only a couple more. That's just crazy. That is all of them from this spot. Now I just gotta get them back to my car, which is gonna be a bit of a hassle, I might say. Totally worth it though.
Alright, the car is loaded up with the whale vertebrae from the first spot, head to the second spot, and then I gotta go to my brother's house and eat good food and sleep in a real bed. And then we'll get home after that, clean the teeth, and I'm hoping that they turn out really pretty. But I should probably pay attention to what I'm doing. Alright, we are at whale spot number 2, and in just a moment we're gonna start stacking more of these cool vertebrae. I forgot how big that pile was. Hey, you've got to be kidding me. I didn't notice because the visibility is much better now, but right below me, there's a Megalodon Tooth that I kicked up when I was removing these vertebrae, and I didn't even notice, and it's just laying right there. So let me grab this. I can't believe I missed this when I was collecting these vertebrae. Well, I mean, that's a little unexpected. I haven't even grabbed a single vertebrae yet. And Megalodon Tooth. But I will take it. Doesn't even have any tannin stunning. I really just kicked that up last time and didn't even notice. That's awesome.
An ocean, a cave, a dream that no one could save, a shelter, a whole act, a light that died with
well,
the night.
There are all of the whale vertebrae from the first pile. I still gotta go over there somewheres and get the second pile, so that is pretty nutty. Ooh. Look at that fat stack. I'm exploring this like little part that was right in front of where I ended. There looks like there's a 3-inch mako below me. So, what? Come on. Alright, we have every single one of those whale vertebrae loaded up, and what an unexpected twist these two teeth were. This white shark tooth, otherwise commonly known as a mako, even though they're not makos, is so close to 3. That meg is a really decent meg. Very happy with it. And that is just a whole ton of whale bones. You could say today was a whale of a day. I'm making dad jokes, I'm sorry. Next step is to get home and we're gonna clean all of these teeth. So, starting to unpack everything, and don't tell me that look how big these are, is not impressive. Holy crap. I'm gonna show Charisse some rocks. Oh my god, it's bright.
Dude. These are huge.
Yeah, they're a little bit big.
What on earth? How on earth did you manage to even carry this?
It was a lot of work, I'm telling you.
Wow, look, make this arm day for me today.
Oh my god. They were a little bit bigger than you. It's one vertebrae, which is just crazy. All of these right here are associated there's some words. They're from the same whale. All the ones in boxes and along here, even though one of these is really nice, they're not associated. They're all from different ones. So Charisse has picked out a vertebrae for herself, and I was just telling her something cool about this fossil. So if we rotate it into the light a bit, you can tell that this animal, even though it's decently big for the vertebrae, this is a juvenile. It's got all these little dimpled structures, these little sutures, and just like in humans, they have unfused discs. So there's been a disc right here in juveniles, and when they become adults, that disc fuses to the vertebrae. So you can tell in these large specimens, they actually have a fused disc. And I found one of the fossilized discs from a juvenile. So you see these little sutures here? These would have matched up with the juvenile, and there would have been cartilage between the disc and the actual vertebrae. And when it becomes an adult, that cartilage between mineralizes and becomes part of the actual bone. So you can really tell the age of some of these animals just by taking a close look at these vertebrae. So nutty. Paparazzi over here.
It's really cool.
Alright, all the vertebrae are out, and I kind of forgot about this. So you guys might think, wow, it's really incredible. He finds so many whole, perfect quality teeth. Well, the truth of the matter is, for every nice tooth I find a lot of broken teeth. This represents all the broken dreams of the trip. There's some more in here. That would have been one of the biggest megs I've ever found. 5 inches wide. Would have definitely been a 6-inch tooth. Whale ear bones. Lots of really nice whale ear bones actually. And just teeth. Teeth, 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 teeth. But I think it's about time we go show you all the pretty ones that I found this trip. So I was just getting a little bit impatient and already started to clean a few of these incredible teeth. But as you can probably tell, I still have a lot of work to go through. However, some of these teeth are going to be orange underneath. But these teeth have such a thick buildup, it's definitely going to take a while. But my god, when they are done, they are something else. Holy crap. Alright, we are going to get this over with as quick as possible because I have been sick and it is hot as it gets out here. Since I was sick, I did have a little bit of time to go ahead and start cleaning these teeth. And while, you know, a big bad boy like that was obviously going to be quite gorgeous when I found it, some of these teeth definitely surprised me. Like, I can't even put this back because I'm looking through the camera. This one, that is probably my single favorite tooth from this trip. It's like, I don't know, it's a campfire or cities from a satellite view at night. It is so gorgeous. I love this tooth a lot, and it's got a needle tip right there. So that's probably my favorite. This one was surprising because I don't remember if you guys remember this tooth from the video, but it was pitch black when we found it. Same with that one. That tooth was also pitch black. But I only had enough time to clean this side. It still has a lot, and I mean a lot of gunk on this side. The problem with these teeth is it is very time intensive to clean them. I did also get a lot of these very nice extinct white shark teeth. That one's probably my favorite, but these two come in a pretty close second and third. I don't know which one would be second and which one would be third, but they're big. And then where is it? There we go. That was my only complete great white shark tooth from the trip. And it is very, very, very nice. This one's about 2.47 inches. It's almost 2.5 inches. It's a full-grown adult though. That one I'm not done cleaning yet. It's going to be really, really sweet when it's finished, and I'll probably have Joe restore the root. But it's taken a lot of time to work on these, and I don't got all the time in the world. Speaking of time, it is too hot, and I am going to get out of here. If any of you got some enjoyment out of this video, please make sure to interact with it in some way by leaving a comment, liking it, sharing with your friends, whatever. But I appreciate you all, and as always, keep on digging science.